Welcome everyone to the video, and today we are going to talk about the 5 best characters in the game. These are characters that you can get free to play, you could spend on, you could do whatever. These are the characters that will get you the most value for events, for raids, for different parts of the game. I'm going to go through all of them I did not categorize them in order of best to worst of the top 5, but these are the top 5 characters you want to have. And we're going to start off with number 1, the leader of the Ice Team, Ned Stark. You could get him in the welcome banner when you start off. He is a part of the Stark faction, which reduces stamina for more ice. Ice is a debuff, which causes less stamina gain. And Ned Stark has a wonderful leader ability where all enemies begin combat with a 35% chance to become afflicted with 2 ice. Then when an opponent becomes brittle or Ned receives crit damage, he grants all allies 30% physical resistance for 5 turns and heals them for 5% of his current HP. A lot going on. He can do it all. He has plenty of health. He has a lot of defense, and he has a very good special. His special move does 316% physical to a single enemy. I call him Single Target Ned for a reason. He will get you by in the egg event when you're facing those pesky blue enemies and you have reds on your team and they can't just take them out. You just one-shot them with Ned. If the target is brittle, the damage is double. And then he taunts enemies. Mine right now is up to 5 turns. But he does a taunt. This is normal speed, not slow speed. And against those dragons, if you get them brittle, he's going to do a massive amount of damage. So I put him in the top 5 best characters. Next one we have in the top 5 best characters is also in the welcome banner when you first start the game. And she is currently going on right now with Grey Worm. It is Daenerys Targaryen, the Mother of Dragons, part of the Targaryen faction, which increases fire damage over time effect from 3 to 5 members. She has a fast speed move that does a lot of fire damage to all enemies. And then when you have more fire on enemies, she deals bonus damage for every fire they have. So fire teams are currently the meta in raids. And there are a lot of good characters that can create fire. And you just put a lot of fire on the enemies. Blast them with a Daenerys AoE, they are done. She has a wonderful team up with Grey Worm that is for vertical tiles. And when it's activated, it afflicts up to 2 random enemies with fire. He is a solid tank. And her leadership ability isn't great, but her passive is nice. If Dracarys hits with a critical strike, that's her AoE move. Area of effect, damage all enemies. Their fire resistance is decreased by 25% for 4 turns, and she gains more stamina, so she keeps going. She is a fantastic character, a great event character. AoEs are king for events, and she is certainly the queen. Speaking of queens, we have number 3 on the list, which is Rhaenyra Targaryen, also a member of the Targaryen faction, and works wonderfully with Daenerys. Rhaenyra is the event queen. She has the best leadership in the game for events because when you get her to 5-star, when an enemy is defeated, Rhaenyra creates 2 random power-ups. Now, these can be all different kinds, from bombs to vertical to single target, but every time you beat an enemy, she will create 2 if you get her to 5 stars. Anything under that is 1, but you'll fill the board and you blast off, create tons of stamina, do a lot of damage, and get your moves powered up. When she receives a buff, she has a 50% chance of triggering a power-up. So if you give her a buff, like let's say you give her a shield, she has a 50% chance to trigger a power-up and make it go off. When she receives a buff at 6 stars, she heals for 5% max HP. And that is not all. She has a wonderful AoE, which does fire damage to all enemies with an 80% chance to inflict fire upon them. Then she has a 60% chance to remove a buff from them, and enemies who have a buff remove have an 80% chance to be afflicted with 1 additional fire. So, she does a lot of fire damage. She inflicts fire, which will boost Daenerys. You get her free from the egg event. She is in the egg event summons. So, you will get her over time. And she is the best lead in the game for events. That is Rhaenyra. Now we're going to talk about a character that just came out, and I did a video on it. Check in my channel if you want to see more. This is Stannis Baratheon. Stannis Baratheon is the member of the Baratheon faction, which with 3 to 5 members will increase your gem damage overall. 100% if you have 5 of the Baratheons, plus his lead grants all allies 25% gem damage. So you could do 125% gem damage at the start of a match going on, and then you have other members in the Baratheon faction that increase gem damage, like Davos and Melisandre. Just great overall. When an enemy shield is broken, gem damage buff is doubled for 3 turns. So those pesky shield guys like Sam, Alistair, Zaro, you face them off, Stannis punishes them. But his best feature, and this is really great for events, especially in Battle of the Bastards, anytime an enemy is defeated, Stannis removes 3 debuffs from all allies and destroys a gem. At 4-star, he destroys a power-up, and at 6-star, he destroys 3 power-ups or gems. When you destroy, you do more damage, you create stamina, and you can create cascades. Now, why is this so important? If you're in Battle of the Bastards, the Boltons will inflict 3 bleeds on you. There's event bleed and there's Bolton bleeds. Max stack is 3. When you defeat an enemy, you remove 3 debuffs from all allies. Bleed does a ton of damage if you use your own special moves, and this game is all about speed. Let's take it into raids. Let's say you face off against an ice team and someone is brittle. You defeat someone, they remove 3 ice from them, and they're not brittle anymore, so they're not going to take the 200% damage. You face a fire team, and you have 5 stacks of fire, and they're burning you like crazy, and Daenerys is ready to unload on you with a crazy AoE. No, Stannis will remove 3 of the debuffs when you kill an enemy. He is the best cleanser in the game, and on top of it, he has a wonderful AoE, which strikes all enemies, and it's a normal speed move for 100% attack fire. Enemies who are shielded take a bonus 100% attack fire damage. So this is really useful in raids. And the fire damage is great because Melisandre will reduce fire resistance. Daenerys will reduce fire resistance. So you have all ways to make this more powerful. And his power-up gem will replace verticals. And this is with Melisandre. When it's activated, this gem grants allies 15% gem damage for 3 turns. So you can have a whopping 140% gem damage with 5 Baratheons for 3 turns. And if you get multiple one of these throughout the match, you're getting more. So it's just bonkers. He is just phenomenal, and he is in the summons right now. Going to save the last the best for last, and that is Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion Lannister is a member of the Lannister faction, but we're not going to use him for that at all. He has one of the best moves in the game, and he will get you clearing hard content and long fights. The best. The best, the best, the best. His leadership ability is great in Battle of the Bastards. Whenever he's debuffed, he has a 25% chance to remove a debuff from his allies. And at 5-star, the debuff removal is increased to 50% chance. He also has a passive when he takes damage. Him and his team gain 3% damage resistance to that type for 3 turns. If you get him to 6-star, that's increased to 6%. On my mini account, Tyrion is a 2-star, and I have defeated Kingslayer. Again, Tyrion is a 2-star, and I have defeated Kingslayer. If you are having problems with Kingslayer, you need this man. If you don't, then you don't need him. But if you are a newer account and you need to summon for one character, I always recommend Tyrion because of this ability right here. It's a very slow speed, and it is very slow to be balanced, because if it was faster, they would probably nerf him. Tyrion marks an ally to represent him in trial by combat. At the start of every turn, they will gain stamina, but every time they use their stamina ability, they deal 320% max HP to all enemies. Now, my move is upgraded because it's 4-star, so if you get him to 2-star or 3-star, it will be less. But every time they use their ability, they will do an AoE move. You will have healers doing AoE move. You will have shielders doing AoE move. You have stamina passers and support characters doing AoE moves every time they use their move. When you're doing a long fight, you put the skill on someone, and you just need to keep Tyrion alive. That's why I recommend him to get him to 2 to 3 stars. You need to keep him alive, because if he dies, this ability dies as well. It is one of the best moves in the game, and it will clear hard content for you like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. Watch my video on Tyrion Lannister. Watch my video on gameplay on all these 5 characters, because they are phenomenal for your team, and they will get you doing well in events and earning lots of resources. This is the top 5 best characters in the game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below. Let me know what you think. If I missed a character that you like or whatnot. This is a game of teams. However, these single characters are elite. Take care.